Hi, 7th grade art class. I am here today to give you a lesson about drawing human figures. And before you start the lesson, in the directions, I've asked you to try drawing a human figure yourself first, just so we have something to look at and say, yeah, I got better at it. And then I'm going to be teaching you about figures and their proportions. So if you've done that, if you've not done your drawing yet, pause the video and do that and then come right back. So figures, as we explained in the Google slides, are about 7.5 heads tall. We measure the figure in heads. And the figure, so we start when we draw, we start with the head. So I've given you this worksheet. Hopefully you've printed it out. If you haven't, you can take a ruler, and I don't think I have a ruler close to me, but you can mark off 8 equal spaces, like 8 inches down your sketchbook to use as your guide marks. So this is just giving you 8 head sizes to kind of proportion your figure. So I'm going to start with the head and make it an oval shape. Remember how we drew the faces last week. You don't want it to get too skinny like that. You don't want it to be round like that. You want it to look like a head, approximately. So once you have that drawn, we can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our figure is going to end up standing with his heels about here. So the next step is to draw a little circle. And notice I'm not trying to just put my pencil down and draw this like hard. I'm just back up your hand. Try not to clench up on your lead, but back up your hand a little bit and let yourself draw that oval 2 or 3 times around. Now I'm going to do a little circle for the neck. And now we're going to do a big oval for what's called the torso. That's going to be the body down to the belly button. So we're going to make this one bigger, like your torso is, but not too much bigger, but a little bit bigger. And then we're going to add shoulders. Those are going to be little circles that are going to be out here. Remember that the shoulders, which would be about here then, are about 3 heads wide. So if this is our head, they go out about an equal amount on both sides. Now I'm going to get down and stop here. And I told you the belly button was about here. That's your waist, where your waist is. And mark that. And then I'm going to do the hips. And the hips are bigger, like a circle shape here. That's your pelvis, the bones that hold your internal organs are in here. Now I'm going to back up to the arms. Now, if you will stop for just a minute and stand up and put your arm down to your side, note where your elbow is and where it falls on your body, on your torso. It should line up with your belly button. So the top portion of our arm is going to be that long. Here's our belly button. So we're going to come down to that mark. So to get the arms in proportion. Now remember that what we're drawing is not the human, it's kind of the skeleton for the drawing that we're making. So there's the tops of the arms. And then if you stand again and put your arms straight down to your side, notice how long your arms really are. They should fall somewhere between your hip and your knee. We also can note that the lower portion of your arm is about the same length as the top portion. It kind of bends in half. So if we measure here and come down, we know that the lower part of our arm is going to be about right here. So I'll do the other side too. Take your time with this. You don't want fat ovals. And then the hand is here. Now that looks long, but it won't be too bad when we get the legs on, and that's what we're going to do next. So now the legs, and your legs are divided in half. Like this is the full length of your leg, but your knee is the middle part. So we're going to do the top part of your leg, which is usually a little thicker than the bottom part of your leg, than your calf. This is the thigh, and here's the bottom part of the leg. And we'll do again on this side, and then again here. Now your feet, this would be where your heel would be, so we're right there at the, and this just, your feet are going to be coming forward or kind of out to the side. And if you look at your foot and compare it like it was showed you on the Google slides, your foot is usually as long as from your wrist to where your elbow bends, so about right there. So your feet are kind of big, proportionate to your body. So here's our knees, belly button, elbows. Now the neat thing about this is once you learn to draw this in proportion, to keep your things, every part of the body in proportion, you can pose them however you'd like. So I would suggest that you go on and practice again a couple more times here to see if you can get it looking correct. Remember, those elbows come to the belly button. And then you can start changing the position of the arms and legs. So let's say I want to make this person waving. So I'm going to move the arm out and up. I know that it still has to be the same length if it goes up here. Oops. So I'm going to make that arm go out, and then the part that comes down here, make it go up. And hand up here. So he's throwing his hand up and waving. If you notice, here's another little trick you can try. This might be just a little bit long. If you put your arm up, straight up, and then bend it over the top of your head, your elbow is about even with the top of your head. Then we could make him run if we wanted to. If we had him turned sideways, it would be easier. I'll show you sideways here on the next one. But no matter what the position the legs are in, they have to be the correct length. So let's just check back here. I think that's pretty good. I've got overlap to the body, and that's okay. So now it's kind of got movement. And I think we're pretty proportionate. I'm going to check on the one that's standing still. Looks pretty good. There's the foot. Now, the neat thing about this is that once you have these drawn and can learn to draw them in your sketchbook, and I'll just leave it like that. Once you have it down and can watch your proportions and try to make sure you're correct, three heads to here, so about to there. The arm, shoulders on. Belly button's going to be here. Hips. Now we can make these figures do what we want them to do. We can pose them how we want. Remember to keep that arm, even if it's out here or up here, it still needs to be the correct length, no matter what it's doing. So we can take this proportionate figure and start turning it into a human being. We're just going to use this as our skeleton. So like I said, if you can learn to draw lightly this way, backed up from your pencil, this is going to help you because then you'll be able to eventually erase these guidelines. So here's what I would do then. Once I have the figure drawn the way I want, I'd go in and, remembering my face proportions here, I'll start with a little bit, whoops, that's a low eye there. I'll draw some hair. I'm going to do this very quickly so that you can see and you can get started with yours. So I'm going to basically kind of use that to thinking about what your body looks like to get arms and legs drawn so that my person looks the right length. Now I could make her a cheerleader. I could make her a basketball player. Whatever. Now you don't draw around these shapes because we're not really that shape. It's just to help you get the body proportions right. So then I could go like this, get the legs drawn, and I could make a fashion model. I could do whatever I want to with it. But I can add clothes. The nice thing is then I can go back if I have drawn lightly and get rid of that skeleton so that I can have a person who looks proportionate and correct in what they're doing. I can add pom-poms, I can add a basketball, whatever. Make it how I want it. So what I'd like you to do today are practice figures. I want you to post me several practice figures where you think you're getting the proportions correct. And a way you can check, I'm going to do it here, is I can check and see how many heads tall my person is. So 1, 2, to about there, 3, to there, 4, 5, 6, 7, and about a half. So I'm pretty close on that one. So really, you're just drawing a guideline to help you be able to make people in action poses doing what you want them to do. Okay, so for today, just practicing and then post your results. If you have any questions, get with me on Go Guardian. Talk to you later. Bye.